Let's pull together all of the skills we've learned about annotations, behaviors, transitions, and animations to create an animated lower third that we can reuse throughout our projects. I have a blank canvas open with a white background. Everything else we're going to create from scratch with just the basic tools. Let's start by going to the Annotations panel and under Basic Shapes, drag a black box onto the screen. Position it so that it aligns to the left-hand edge of the screen, resize it down a little bit, and then stretch the box out so that it appears as a bar that stretches most of the way across the screen. Then in the Properties Inspector, let's change the opacity of this bar down to about 60%. And in the Visual Properties tab, scroll down until you find the Drop Shadow settings, and then click the X to remove the drop shadow. Now with the bar selected, make a copy of it and paste a copy onto the second track. Since these two annotations only take about 5 seconds of time, press Command-Shift-0 on your keyboard to automatically zoom your timeline out to 100% to make this all easier to see. Now let's shrink the top box down to about 1/4 of its height. Begin by dragging the box down to the midpoint and then drag a little bit further. Then reposition the bottom box so that the top of the bottom box aligns with the bottom of the top box. Then use the arrow keys on your keyboard to nudge the bottom box down about another 5 pixels. This will give a very tiny but noticeable separation between the two bars. Now let's change the color of the bottom box. With it still selected, go to the Shape panel and then change the fill color to a nice contrasting color. I'll select this nice gray. When we deselect, we can see the finished look. Now let's animate these bars into the scene. Go to your Animations panel and drag a custom animation onto the bottom bar. This animation is going to last for about 1 second, and we want the black bar to appear to grow out from the side. Click on the ending keyframe to set the current view as the ending state for the animation. Then move your playhead back to the first keyframe and select it. Then drag the right edge of the box so that it collapses the entire box down to a single line. Now let's play our animation and see how it looks. It starts off fine, but then the whole bar seems to pull away from the edge of our canvas. This is because easing is automatically being applied. To fix this, right or control click on the animation, and under Animation Easing, select None. Now let's play that back again and see if we got it. Perfect. Now for the gray bar. We want that to appear to swing down from the top bar. So let's begin by trimming the start of the clip to the end of the black bar's animation. Then let's use a behavior for this. Let's try the sliding behavior. Drag the sliding behavior onto the gray bar's clip and then scrub your playhead over the effect to see how it looks. Not bad, but not exactly what we're looking for. Let's change the style to hinge and the direction to top. Then scrub over it to see how it looks. That's more like it, but there seems to be too much tension on it. Let's reduce the tension down to 2, and then let's play that back. Now that we have this the way that we want it, let's set the during and out styles for this behavior to none. Okay, let's add some text. In the Annotations panel, under Callouts, drag the large text callout onto the black bar. Resize it a bit so that the text box completely fills the bar, but leave a little breathing room on the left edge. Let's change the font size down to 72 and left align the text. Then in the Visual Properties Inspector, let's also get rid of the drop shadow on this as well. Now copy and paste the text to a new layer. Change the font size down to 36 and reposition the second text so that it aligns in the middle of the light gray bar. Resize the text box as needed until it snaps into position. Now we need to animate our text onto the scene. Let's start with the large text and use another behavior for this. This time, we'll use the scale behavior. Scrub over the effect to see how it looks. That looks pretty good, but let's adjust the timing. Trim the start of the large text clip so that it starts at about a half second. That way, it starts coming in as the black bar is still animating in. For the small text, let's add a fade behavior to that. For the timing, find the spot where the swinging looks like it's just about done, then trim the small text box to there. Scrub over it to see how it looks. Okay, the last thing we need to deal with is the out. Make sure that all of your clips are trimmed up so that they all end at the same time, at about 5 seconds. Then let's select all of the clips and go to the Transitions panel and add a fade transition onto the end of all of the clips. I think we can shorten these fades up quite a bit so that the lower third goes away quickly. They should all snap into alignment. Now let's change the text in both of the text boxes so you get a better idea of what the finished lower third is going to look like. I'll change mine to say Explore California and Cycle California. Now jump your playhead back to the beginning by pressing Command Return, and let's preview our finished lower third. That's looking great. Save this project, and in the next movie, we'll convert it into a reusable object.